Hello and good morning. Thanks for joining me for yoga today. We're going to come through some very gentle sequence to twist the body out, stretch the body out this morning. So I have got a chair here. It's really mainly to demonstrate. If you've got a sofa or a table chair nearby, you may want to try using it. I've also brought my yoga blocks out just so I can show you some other possibilities and variations with some of the twists. But to begin with, we're going to start standing, having our feet hip distance apart. So hip distance, our big toes are tracking under our iliac crest, and those are the frontal hip bones just here. So directly underneath the hip bones, or roughly, I should say. And then we are looking to have our feet parallel, spreading the toes. So the best way to do that is lifting the toes up and spreading them and then gently popping them back down. And when you lift the toes, maybe trying that again, you'll notice which parts of the feet are in contact with the floor or your mat. And you'll notice there's a little bit of a lift through the center of the foot. And you'll be grounding through the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the heel. So trying to keep that lift, trying to keep that contact with the soles of the feet through the ground, through to the earth, as you gently pop your toes down. You'll notice everything sort of wants to collapse. There's an engagement and a lift, and sometimes it helps to imagine you're holding something between your thighs, maybe a yoga block or a brick or a book even, and that will engage the inner thighs and bring a lift to your body. So starting like that, have a softness in the knees, so just a gentle bend in the knees and rolling the shoulders up, back and down. So we're creating that lovely openness in the chest, and the shoulder blades are drawing down the back. Finding the length in the spine, so standing tall and maybe tucking the chin just a centimetre or two to lengthen the back of the neck, and the hands are down by the sides of the body. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. We're going to start by connecting with our breath. So remembering in yoga, we breathe in and out of our nose if that's possible. Noticing the cool air as the breath enters the nostrils, and how the air is a little warmer as it leaves the body. Noticing which parts of the body are moving as you breathe in. And directing the breath towards the belly. So we often call this belly breathing. It's actually not the belly breathing. It's the diaphragm, the muscle, the large muscle just under the rib cage. And as we breathe in, the diaphragm moves down. So the lungs are able to expand and it pushes the belly out. So sometimes feeling that. Directing the breath towards the belly, visualizing it, can help increase the breath, so lengthen the breath. Gently bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart center, so on the center of the rib cage. And you may want to change the hands around. One hand probably feel more comfortable on one part of the body and the other on the other. So it might be the other way around. So take a moment to find which way around that feels good for you. And bringing that attention to the parts of the body we've just been talking about. So with the hand on the belly and the hand at heart center, we're bringing in awareness, a physical awareness to those parts of the body. Sometimes feels a little bit easier to breathe into the hands with that connection there. And as you breathe in, imagining the diaphragm moving downwards as the belly expands. And the lungs fill with the breath. Maybe you can feel the diaphragm moving. Maybe you don't need to imagine it. Maybe you can really connect with that muscle and notice the movement downwards as the lungs expand. Maybe it helps imagining and visualizing it to increase the length of the breath. And notice the back of the body moving, the breath entering the back of the lungs. Still standing tall, finding that length and feeling the length and the grounding through the feet. And then gently taking the hands away from the body, bring them back to the sides of the body. We're going to tuck the chin, so the chin's going to reach the chest. Gently open the eyes and bring our head back up to center. So bring that awareness to the breath, to lengthen it, to slow it down, to bring that connection, that anchor there for our yoga practice. We're going to come into a little bit of movement now. We'll begin with the wrists. So taking some circles in both directions. And then we'll do the wrist movement where we take fists, pop them in front of us, and you're imagining you're revving a motorbike. Motorbike pose is what I've called it. And we're bringing the knuckles down. We're stretching into the wrists, and you might feel this in the upper arms all the way up to shoulders. Just depends on your body. And then stretching the fingers out, making fists. So really stretching the muscles, the ligaments in the hands, the wrists and the arms. They do so much for us, especially if we're using phones and laptops a lot at the moment. And bringing the hands back down to the sides of the body. We're going to just stretch very gently to one side. So I'm coming over to my right hand side and my right hand is sliding down my leg. Still have that softness in the knees, the feet haven't moved. And keep the openness in the shoulder. So the left shoulder may want to fall forwards. We're keeping that openness to allow the breath to flow in and out easily, to have the space it needs. And then we'll slowly come back up center and slide the left hand down the left leg. Again, remembering to keep the shoulders soft. If we have our shoulders up by our ears, we can create tension in the back of the body, the back of the top of the neck and shoulders. And then slowly coming back up. We'll have a slight bend in the knees. We're just going to make some twisting movements, but dynamically this morning. So bringing a little bit of a twist to the spine, but coming up on alternate feet as we move. Remembering to breathe. And coming back to center. We're going to move the hips. So making sure the feet are pointing forwards, have a little bit of a bend in the knees, a softness again. Try not to lock the knees. The knees are very special hinge joints. We want to keep them nice and safe. Hands on the hips, and I'm gently doing my hip dance, I sometimes call it, going left to right. And if you find a little bit of a tension or tight spot, maybe just gently breathing into it and staying there. Sometimes that can help soften the hips, any tension up. And then making some figure of eights and making it as dynamic as you want to. So you're really bending into the knees, moving a little bit lower and all the way around. You can also involve your arms if you'd like to. And then we're going in the opposite direction. So I'm almost bringing my shoulders into this now. And a little bit of a twist through the spine. And slowly coming back up to center. We're going to raise the arms now. We've warmed up the shoulders a little and the hands. So we're going to raise the arms. Again, taking that hip distance stance or a little bit wider if that feels more comfortable for you, making sure the feet are parallel, softness in the knees. We're going to breathe in and reach up through the hands and the fingertips and slowly come over towards the right hand side, reaching through the hands. So we've already done a side bend, a lateral stretch. This is a little bit stronger. So going as far as feels comfortable for your body, but making sure that top shoulder's not collapsing. Coming back up to center and going over to the left hand side. Coming slowly back up to center and bringing the hands down back to the sides of the body. I'm going to turn to my side now so I can demonstrate what we're going to do. We're going to hold opposite elbows here. So I'm either holding opposite elbows. You can, if it feels more comfortable, hold opposite wrists or clasp the hands. Opposite elbows, a little bit stronger, maybe across the pectoral muscles. And I'm reaching down through the elbows. What I'm trying to do is not kick the hips forward. So I'm keeping the hips roughly over the ankles, that strong line, and drawing the elbows down towards the floor. So quite a strong stretch, maybe across the shoulders, bringing a little bit more space into the upper chest. And then slowly allow that to go. We're going to come into a forward fold, and this is where the chair may be useful, so a little bit of height. It just depends on how your hamstrings are feeling this morning. So our bodies are always tighter in the morning. Our muscles get quite tight overnight because they've not been moving, they've not been stretching. So it's not a bad thing or a negative thing, it's just how our bodies are. So in the morning, we need to slowly work and gently work to lengthen and warm the muscles up. So a gentle Uttanasana forward fold is always quite nice in the morning. So I'm going to bring my chair in just to demonstrate. And I like to teach it with feet hip distance apart again, and the toes are pointing forwards. So the feet are parallel, there's a softness in the knees. I'm going to breathe in and reach up. And as I breathe out, I'm folding forwards. You'll see I'm leading with the heart, and that means I'm folding from the hips. And then I've got my hands on the chair. I'm going to allow my head, my neck to soften. My crown of my head is maybe going towards the chair or the floor. I've still got that tiny bend in the knees. And if you're finding the back of the legs feel tight, those muscles are telling you you don't want to go any further. Bend into the knees a little bit more. So remembering that lovely word, ahimsa, which is compassion and kindness towards the body. Slowly coming down a little bit further if you want to. Maybe you rest the head on the chair, or maybe you allow the hands to come down towards the floor. The crown of the head is still drawing towards the floor and the mat. And have a little think or feel of the feet. Bring your attention there, the soles of the feet. Is the body weight even over both feet? And then lifting the sitting bones up to the ceiling. So even with the knees bent, you can bring a lift to the sitting bones to reach for the sky. And that's going to bring a little bit more length to the back of the legs. We're going to come up slowly. So bending into the knees, maybe bringing the hands back to the chair. If you came all the way down, taking a moment there. And then bringing the hands to the hips and pushing through the feet to slowly come up. So again, it's a lovely gentle way of coming up. It's a little bit slower. There's no jerking of the neck or the spine. So it's a little bit kinder on the body. So I'm going to take that chair away for now. And we're going to come into a couple of sun salutations, really simple, gentle ones this morning with a kneeling lunge. So coming to one end of the mat, just making sure you've got enough space to step back. My toes are pointing forwards, my feet are parallel, they're hip distance apart. If you usually practice with your feet together, please obviously practice as feels comfortable for you. Finding that length in the spine, that strong posture, maybe tucking the chin just a little bit. Breathing in, reaching up, breathing out, folding forward. So having that bend in the knees. Now, if the hands don't touch the floor or don't reach the floor, you can either bend into the knees a little bit more or hold opposite elbows. From here, we're going to breathe in, bring the hands to the shins and take the gaze towards the floor. So it's a flat back position.
And then we're going to breathe out and fold forward. So back into Uttanasana. And maybe you're finding a little more length in the back of the legs now. Are you able to straighten them a little bit, but still keeping that micro bend in the knee, so avoiding locking the knee. We're going to take our right foot back and then drop the knee down. And when you come into this lunge position, making sure the left knee is directly above the left ankle. We don't want it to overshoot, so we're keeping it there. Maybe the fingertips are on the floor or the hands. We're going to breathe in to reach up through the fingers, breathing in, reaching up through the fingertips. The palms are facing in towards each other. If your neck is happy to do so, you can take the gaze up to the sky. We're going to take 3 breaths here. And then slowly coming back down to the hands on the floor or the mat. We're going to place the right hand parallel to the left foot. So that might be spread or fists. A fist can feel quite nice if the wrists are sore. We're going to breathe in and reach up. So we're coming into a twist. My left hand, my palm is facing out, away from my body. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears, making sure that left knee is still tracking above the left ankle. So twisting is massaging all our internal organs from our digestive system all the way up to the heart and the spleen. So it's supporting our immune system as well, the lymph drainage. We're going to slowly come back down to center and come back into a plank. So decide if you're coming onto your toes or your knees for plank. Either way, making sure the hands are spread, the shoulder width apart, the middle fingers are pointing forwards. Shoulders away from ears, inner elbows pointing in towards each other. And take a moment wherever you are to just rock forwards a centimetre. It's like you're looking over a cliff edge. It will make the pose a little stronger. Dropping the knees down and slowly coming all the way down to the floor. Making sure the hands are under the shoulders. I often check where my shoulders are and replace my hands. Elbows are tucked in, we're coming into a baby cobra. So the elbows are snuggling into the rib cage. Hands, fingers are spread. Shoulders, shoulder blades drawing down away from the ears, the pelvis, the hips in contact with the floor. And then slowly coming back down. We're going to push back into an extended child's pose this morning instead of downward dog. So coming back, big toes together, knees wide apart. Hands shoulder width apart. Maybe the elbows come down to the floor. Maybe they're slightly lifted. The gaze is towards the floor. So we're keeping the neck in line with the spine. The glutes are in contact with the heels. Slowly bringing the head down if you can, a little more. If the glutes come up, bring the hands back in towards the body. Slowly lifting the head up, bringing the hands in just a touch. We're going to come into a twist here as well. So we're going to take our right hand under our left, feed it through. Be mindful of shoulders, particularly if they're sore at all this morning, and maybe looking towards the left-hand side as well. You can look towards the mat if that's more comfortable for your neck. You can take the palm up and come down a little bit further. So just working with your body, you want to creep the hands forward a little more. Slowly bringing that hand back to center, and we're going to go over to the opposite side. So the left hand is now reaching through, twisting towards the right. And thinking about your breath, so really utilizing your rib cage to flow really out towards the sides of the body. And slowly coming back through to center. From here, we're going to slowly come and bring our right foot forwards. We've come up into our box position, bringing that right foot forwards. And we're going to be twisting to the other side. So the left hand is coming down. It's parallel with the right foot. Checking in with the right knee. The right knee is directly above the right ankle. And we're reaching up with the right hand. So palm is facing away from us. Slowly bringing that right hand down. We're going to tuck the left toes, bring the left foot to become parallel with the right. Allow the head, the neck to soften. We're back into a forward fold. From here, we're going to slowly come up. So remembering how we came up in our first forward fold, slowly, mindfully, allowing the head and neck some time to readjust. Maybe bringing the hands to the hips, bending into the knees, pushing through the feet to slowly come back up to standing. And we're going to do all of that on the other side now. So I'm just demonstrating the other side, staying maybe where you are and making sure you've still got enough space behind you to step back. The toes are pointing forwards, they're hip distance apart, finding that beautiful length in the spine through the crown of the head. Shoulders soft. Connecting with the breath or reconnecting with the breath. Using that as your anchor and focus throughout this asana practice. We're going to breathe in and reach up through the fingertips, breathing out, folding forwards. So there's a softness in the knees, and maybe you bend the knees a little bit more to allow a little bit of kindness towards the body. On the next inhalation, we're bringing the hands up, shoulders away from ears, looking towards the floor for our flat back position. And then we're floating back down again, coming back into our Uttanasana. So lifting the sitting bones up to the ceiling, finding a little bit more length in the back of the legs. And then we're going to bring the left foot back and drop the left knee. So we're doing everything on the same on this side. The right knee is above the right ankle. We're going to reach up into an extended lunge here, breathing in, reaching out, maybe taking that towards the sky if the neck is happy to do so. We're going to be taking 3 breaths here. And gently bringing the hands back down to the mat. The left hand is now going to be planted. It's parallel with the right foot. Maybe it's the full palm, fingers spread. Maybe it's fists, so a fist like that. Reaching up with the right hand, the palm is facing away from you. Just check that right knee hasn't fallen in or out. We still want it to be directly above that right ankle. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears. And you'll find the abdomen is probably feeling a little bit squashed right now, massaging the digestive system. Slowly bringing that hand back to the center. We're going to step back into our plank position. So making a decision where you're coming onto toes or knees and checking the hands are spread. The middle fingers are pointing forwards. Shoulders away from the ears, neck in line with spine. Taking a moment to look over that cliff edge. Slowly dropping the knees, coming all the way down to the floor and into our Cobra Pose. So hands are under shoulders, fingers are still spread, elbows tucked in, hugging the rib cage, slowly coming up. A small, gentle cobra for the morning. It's quite a strong back bend. We've got lots of space here for the chest, utilizing the lungs, breathing in, expanding at the front, the sides, and the back of the body. Slowly coming back down. This is where we're going to push into our extended child's pose. So bringing the hands towards the chest, knees are coming wide, big toes together. And this time we're going to take our hands towards the left and then to the right for a lateral stretch. So gently taking the left hand towards the left hand side, followed by the right, creating a stretch down the right side of the body. The gaze is towards the floor, maybe reaching through a little bit further with the right hand. And slowly bringing the hands back to center and over to the right hand side. And coming back to center again. We're coming back up onto our knees, so into that box position, and we're going to bring our left foot forwards this time. So the left foot is coming forwards. We're back into our runner's lunge almost position. Left knee over left ankle. We're going to twist again. So bringing the right hand parallel with the left foot, or making a fist if that feels nicer or kinder for the wrist. Breathing in, reaching up through the fingertips. Making sure the left knee is still hovering above the left ankle. And then slowly bringing that left hand down, tucking the right toes, bringing the foot to become parallel with the left. We're back into our forward fold. We're going to push through the feet to come up, so maybe bringing the hands to the hips. We're going to bend into the knees a little bit more, push into the feet, power through the feet to come up to standing slowly, and bringing the hands down to the sides of the body. So we stretched out the full body with a simple sun salutation. Surya Namaskar brought some warmth to the body. I wanted us to come into a wide-legged forward fold this morning as well, and come into a twist. So this is again where the chair or a block or a brick might help. So I'll bring my chair in, and I'm going to take a wide stance. I'm facing the chair, so quite a wide stance. The toes are still pointing forwards. They might even just come in the notch. Hands are on the hips, elbows towards each other. Create that lovely space in the chest. Breathing in, breathing out to fold forward. And this is where you can bring your hands to the chair. So we're trying not to rock back in our heels. We want to keep the hips where they began. From here, you can rest your head on the chair. And if you've got blocks, then they would be here, and you could have your hands on the blocks. So the crown of the head is reaching down towards the floor. From here, we're going to come into a supported twist. So if you're on a block or a brick, you'll be twisting towards the left-hand side, the palms facing out the way. Maybe your hand does reach the floor. If you're using a chair, making sure the hand, the forearm is supported, and then reaching up. So it's a little bit higher, but you're still getting that twist. A little gentler for the body in the morning. Checking in with the knees, and the knees just not doing much. Are we activating the quadricep muscles? So by that, I mean tensing the thigh muscles, keeping the knees safe. We're slowly coming back down to center, and then going over to the other side. If you need to reset, take a moment. Shoulders, blades drawing away from the ears, bringing the hand to the chair, reaching up through the right hand. Trying to keep the weight distribution even over both feet. Still engaging the quadricep muscles, so tensing those front thigh muscles. It's keeping the knees safe. It's engaging the vastus medialis. And slowly coming back through center. Taking a moment here, maybe bringing the head towards the hands if you're using the chair. And already I've noticed I've rocked back into my heels. So I'm just correcting myself there, coming forwards a little. And then to come up, we can maybe use the support of the chair or the blocks if you're using them, wriggling the feet in and slowly coming back up to standing. So a little bit of support in yoga is always welcome. It may make the pose a little bit easier. For some of us, it may make it a little bit harder, but actually it really supports the body and enables us to maybe reach parts of muscles and ligaments we don't always reach. So I'm going to pop that chair out the way. And we're going to come down to finish lying down on the mat. So all the way down, the feet are going to be hip distance apart, toes are pointing forwards, lying all the way down. And we'll bring the knees in for a gentle hug, Apanasana. So gently bringing the knees in and letting them go. So the palms facing down on the knees, fingertips towards the feet. And bringing the feet back down towards the mat. Allow the shoulders to soften, to sink towards the floor, and maybe bring the hands towards the belly. So reconnecting with the breath as we did at the start. Taking one hand on the belly, one on the heart, or both hands on the belly, whatever feels comfortable for you, lying down. Just making sure the neck is in line with the spine, and then closing down the eyes. Feeling that connection of the feet with the floor, with the earth. And noticing as you gently apply some pressure to the feet, you can move the body a few centimeters. So finding that balance between the feet being passive and active. Using the contact of the hands on the body to bring that awareness back to the breath. And taking one more slow, long, deep breath here. Expanding the belly, the lungs, and the upper chest. Gently making some small movements here to come back up to sitting. So maybe giving the knees a hug. And keep the eyes closed or gently open them. And then wherever you are, rolling over onto your right hand side to push yourself up to sitting. So using the hands to come up to sitting. Again, it's another kind of way to come back up without jerking the neck or the back. And remembering to sit tall. Maybe you've got a cushion or some height to sit on. In the mornings, my hips tend to be tighter, so it allows them to soften a little, and I can find length in the back of the body a little easier. Bringing the hands together at heart center, so joining both halves of the body together here. Taking a moment to notice if anything has changed in the body. If the breath has expanded or found a little bit more space. If any tightness or tension has shifted, been relieved, has softened. And remembering yoga supports our immune system, our cardiovascular system, and our central nervous system. Thanking yourself for practicing yoga today. And I'll take my hands up to my forehead to remind us to have kind thoughts, to my lips to remind us to have kind words, and back down to my heart center to remind us to have kind actions. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for yoga today. I hope you enjoyed the class, lots of twists. So wonderful for bringing some space to the vertebrae or between the vertebrae and some length into the spine. I'll be back again soon with some more videos uploaded to YouTube and some more live videos as well. So do click on the subscribe button, the little blue crow in the bottom right hand corner if you'd like notifications of those and when they're coming up. Otherwise, it's bye from me, and I hope to see you again soon.